UK Prime Minister advisor Thomas Corbett-Dillon, along with former GOP national spokeswoman Elizabeth Pipko. I just want to start out with you, Thomas, because I really enjoyed watching the coverage throughout, and I think a lot of people would argue this went about as well as the president could have hoped. Your thoughts?
Yes, I think the Americans are going to be very happy. I think the British, there's two sides of it. The British government, I think, are happy. I think the British people are a little bit sad. They were hoping President Trump was going to come and save them from the persecution that's happening in England. So I think a lot of people are hoping for a bit more strong terms on the attacks on freedom of speech. But the president is such a huge fan of the United Kingdom that I think, you know, the British government are very happy with how it all went.
Before I bring Elizabeth into the conversation, I want to ask you about that rally over the weekend. 3 million people out there, Tommy and others organizing. Do you think that really has lasting power in the UK?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is a government that is arresting 12,000 people a year for things they post online. You know, that is directly against the fundamental value of the United States, which is why some of us, you know, on the British side are a little bit confused. We know the president loves the United Kingdom, but that government is not an ally government. This is a far left regime in the UK that are against everything America stands for. So I think that rally was really important to show the British people are standing up to this. And we really were hoping for a little bit more stronger terms. We were hoping the president was going to meet with Lucy Connolly. I know these things would be very disruptive for the British government, but the people are crying out for it. They're saying, save us, President Trump, you know. So we wanted more, but that's okay. It was a great visit.
You know, I think you're right. And I think he was sort of walking that tightrope, respect for the king and obviously all the pageantry. And yet I think he's quite aware of his support among many in the UK. Elizabeth, great to have you with us tonight. I want to play this sound. This is Peter Doocy actually pressing Keir Starmer on the recognition of a Palestinian state. Want to get your thoughts on that.
You feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood. Why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organisation who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And what happened on October the 7th was the worst attack since the Holocaust.
Boy, that was just delicious to watch that all unfold. Your thoughts, Elizabeth?
It was, and before I get to that, I just want to add I was lucky enough to be in the UK last weekend and to catch a glimpse of that rally, and it was beautiful. I saw American flags, obviously British flags, a lot of photos of Charlie as well, and it was wonderful to see. Now, on to that press conference, let me tell you, I'm sad to say it, but I almost wish Donald Trump would travel a little bit more, because apparently a lot of these foreign leaders get the courage to say the right thing when President Trump is standing by their side. I'm not understanding why it took this long and President Trump to be a foot away from him for him to finally admit what happened on October 7th and who Hamas are, because I know a lot of people in his own country don't realize it, but I'm glad that he finally was able to get the courage to let the world know. Yeah, you nailed it. The courage, because I think he's frankly been cowardly and not being more forceful in this issue. Let me share this. This is a crime crackdown. Obviously, a lot of people wondering whether or not the president will really continue to increase the heat in cooperation with congressional lawmakers. This is the Dems on the crime crackdown. We've seen what's happened here in Washington. Want to get your reaction to this.
Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities.
So I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
And I think it's really important. We need to stand up against this fascist takeover. That's not a bad word. It's a fact.
So to characterize the district as some dystopian hellhole is categorically false.
Boy, they're painted into a bit of a corner. 15 seconds each. Thomas, is this good or bad messaging for the Democrats? What are they thinking here?
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, and I have a lot of Democrat friends that live in D.C., and I've heard from a lot of people that somehow their Amazon packages are no longer disappearing, and that for them is that they're actually like, oh, maybe it's kind of a good thing. They weren't saying it yet publicly, but D.C. people are actually quite happy with what he's done.
Yeah, I am among those who've been saying that. Elizabeth, wrap us up. 20 seconds.
Well, look, I think look no further than this right here. If anyone's wondering why the Democrats lost the last election, why they continue to lose voters. The fact is the majority of the American people want to be safe more than they even want their party to win an election. I wish the Democrats agreed with that.
Yeah, good luck with that, because a lot of people may not be, they may not be great with politics. They may not be well heeled and go to the most Tony schools or live in the best neighborhoods. But trust me, they will tell you privately, and many are actually saying now publicly, we want the help, make it safer, and that's better for everybody. Thomas and Elizabeth, thank you both for spending time with us tonight. I appreciate it.